everyone, so in this microtude we will quickly go through just the basics of levels and level streaming. So at the moment you're probably just working off on one level, which would be what's called your persistent level. I've got it over here on the left side, and usually it's in your content browser in the beginning. But you could create multiple sub-levels in one persistent level, and so now I get what I hear when game developers talk about that you would have a specific level for certain things, such as a level for audio, a sub-level for specific animations, or per locations. And for you, you might think about this strategically. So for some might do their levels per cluster. Some might be, let's say, per architectural room or per space or for different types of detailed assets. It becomes really handy when you're working collaboratively on who could work on what part of the project without affecting others. We'll go through some of these quickly, but on the drop-down menu, on the menu drop-down window, so window levels, I'll toggle mine off so we can see it happening. So you just go window levels, and usually this thing would pop up like just hovering. What you could do is you could drag it and actually put it over there. I see game developers putting on the top left, so I'll just put it there as well. So we'll just basically go through what these things are. So I've already got a few here in this world, but just really quickly, these things on the left are basically what can be seen. So visibility. So if you let me see what I've got there. So if you toggle them on and off, you can see them or not. That's pretty much just the name of the level. This is a lighting scenario. These, I haven't really explored that much. Lock and unlock, so you don't accidentally move things around. This one's the blueprint for that specific level, and a save icon and a color coding. So we'll go through how this could be used. So if you click on levels with the white arrow down, you'll get options, and then you could create new, and you can create an empty level. So I've got a level folder here for levels, so maybe I'll just make this an interior, maybe interior 1. And I'm just gonna, so when you've got that, just double click on it. Oh, that's already actually on. So on the bottom right, you'll see what level you're working on because it tells you. So just save that. So what you can do is you can just go Control S. That should be it. And now if I go to my levels folder, it's the interior 1. So this is now the level we're currently working on. And I think for this one, I'll just quickly make some sort of interior things, maybe some assets. Just downloaded this industry pack, maybe over here on the corner, a series of barrels, maybe some shelves. Looks really big, maybe not that one, maybe just some crates, like so. And just for argument's sake, let's say you have a lot in here. Okay. That looks fine to me. Bit of differentiation would be good. So let's just say that's sort of, interior one assets. Now someone could work on that independently away from the persistent level. So there's some stuff in there. And as I said before, if you click on the eye, you can see it and you can make it visible or not visible. So you could imagine this could be useful in your group. So for example, the whole architecture is done. Someone might take control of detail assets for specific rooms, as I said before. Some might control specific clusters of rooms altogether, etc. And you can also see this via color coding. So if you go to your viewport and then click on show, go to advanced over here, and then go to level colorization, which is over here. And then you could see that, pretty much the thing is color coded. So I could see my interior one are all green. Persistent level is always gray from memory. You can see this guy is blue, etc., etc. So, you could, that'd be useful if certain levels are color coded so that specific team members could edit that specific part. We're heading now to the final few days, so it probably doesn't matter as much, but I suppose for future. So that's really just a really quick overview of the levels. I'll just turn that off. So basically, in this world, certain things are in certain levels. So I've got streaming in some, I've got sequence in some, etc. And so we'll quickly go through um, concepts of level streaming. So basically what it is that it's possible to load and unload map files into memory as well as toggle their visibility live during play. So this makes it possible to have worlds broken up into smaller chunks or details so that the only relevant parts of the world are taking up resources and being rendered at any one point during um, during the live game. If done properly, this allows for the creation of very large, seamless, and highly detailed um, levels or games that could make the player feel as if they are, playing within a world that dwarfs them in size. And you certainly have a chance to do this. And certainly this is one of the ambitions if we can put our worlds together. And it's just good to know that this is possible, and it'll be really good to implement this, or maybe add some parts during the uh, final presentation so that your games don't lag as much. So I'll quickly go through what these things could do. So on your levels, by default, when you right click on them, their streaming method is already in Blueprint. So that's all fine. But you can make these things always loaded, so when your game loads, it's always loaded. But we want them to be in Blueprint. So right click on Interior 1, and then just click on Blueprint if it's not on Blueprint. So in your actor's browser, over here, just look for level streaming volume. Usually it's over here, or you can type it and just drag it inside. Oh, before I do that, just remember that that the level streaming volume or any invisible information really should be in your persistent level, so it's always loaded. So I'll go to my persistent level by double clicking on it, and you can see on the bottom right that that shifted, or that is now the chosen level. And then just drag this in here, and I'll just make it, I'll make this really large so you can see what the effect is. So that's that. And then obviously make sure that your levels are, you name them properly and put them on the proper folders. Like I would put this in its own folder, which actually I'll do now. Let's say streaming interior 1, perhaps, which was, I think, all of these things, and just A level streaming volume could be in there as well. I think I accidentally dragged these ones out. Anyway, just leave it like that. And so under streaming volumes, open your level details browser, which is this icon over here. This looks like a mountain to me. So it says there summon it. So we'll summon it. Make sure that the layer you are working on is the current one. So for me, it's interior one. So click on that. And so under streaming volumes, add an array. So over here, add an array element and pick the new streaming volume that we just made. So click on that. I think it was level streaming volume 3. Like I would name that, and let's say interior level streaming volume. So give it some sort of logical name. I'll just leave mine like that. And just click. That's it really. So just get out of there. Okay. So now if I press play, every time, maybe I'll go away from this view, you can see that currently it's not being loaded at all, so it's not taking up any of my resources. But as soon as I go within that volume, it pops up. You can see that? And then if I get away from that volume, it's invisible again. So how could I make that more useful? So really, I mean, you sort of need to think about it strategically when you want things to show at specific moments. So one way is that before, you obviously don't want people to see that popping in, popping out as they're playing. So one way could be to make the volume a bit larger so that when they are beginning to arrive from that hallway, that this thing is already loaded. So I'll make that larger so that when they are in this level, that it's always loaded, it's always visible. So I'll just for example's sake, so let's just say it's like that. It's a little bit too big, like so. And so now if I press play, as I'm heading to that specific part of the map, it will already be loaded. So I'm walking around, it's all loading, very good. But obviously, as soon as I leave, that would stop streaming. And you could see it on if you look at the level browser on your left side, you can see at the moment that the visibility icon is up. But as soon as I leave away from that volume, sorry, away from that level streaming volume, it goes away. So, see? So you could tell that it's now working. And that's it really, level streaming. So you could do that for anything really, for whole levels. You could do that for like whole landscapes, whole plants, sort of groups. So I made a series of them, tests of them over here. I think you can hear the wind now from the previous tutorial. But over here, if I go in the secret path, there's a bridge, but you just look at the landscape beyond. If I go away from its own level streaming, it's gone now. See? So because that has its own level streaming volume, and you could see that here. So this is that level streaming, sorry, that volume, and it was within that bounding box. And I also made one here as a test. So if I am within the bounds of this, I will begin to see all these furniture. So if I don't know why my camera is not working, but if I I'll just press play over here. But I'm within this vault, so you could see if I get away from it, you could see on the corner that it's now gone. But if I go again in it, it's loaded. And actually, you could see it from here. There, it's gone. And if I jump into it, it's loaded. Actually, you can make Easter eggs like this. So basically, they're really handy so that you could only load things that you need. And that's it. That's well, basics of level streaming.